Hey y'all, it's KRW, and I have decided to do something a bit interesting for my 100th video. I've put this off for a little too long. I kind of got sick after I recorded the footage for this review. Let's just tackle this beast before I go insane from the infinitely looping music on this title screen. Obviously, you can see this is Anubis II. Which is apparently pronounced Anubis II according to Wikipedia, and according to Wikipedia this is not a sequel, because I was kind of wondering where Anubis I was. This was developed by Metro 3D and Data Design Interactive. That should tell you a lot. These two companies worked together on the brilliant and earth-shattering Ninja Bread Man. That's definitely going to give you an idea of the crap we're delving into today. What is there to say about a game like this? First off, the character moves far too clumsily to actually hit what you were trying to hit. He keeps running around like these circles, and it's fast, and the camera angle is just horrible. It's horrible. Then you have the jump mechanic that they teach you, and it is awful. You have to jerk the nunchuck up to jump. It's awkward, forced, and poorly mapped. I'm going to discuss the part about the mapping a little bit later, because that's something we need to get a little deeper into. It's the jump mechanic. It's bad. You can't progress in some parts of the game with the mechanic that they give you. Let's see, what else? Oh, your weapon can't hit the enemies, which I honestly would say this would be fine if you weren't constantly attacked or had to kill enemies for certain parts, but I mean, even if you take those out of the equation, you should still be able to attack. You also, with this one, you have to waggle the Wiimote, the typical thing, and it doesn't even always work. There are times where I was playing with the Wiimote and it doesn't work. The graphics are blah, the gameplay blah, the camera terrible. However, I would give this game a little bit of a higher score. A little bit. If they told you that, number one, you can jump with the Z button, and number two, you can jump on enemies' heads. Okay, so for the first one with the Z button, the jumps improve significantly if you use the Z button. This is where the motion control mapping comes in. It's so poorly executed that the movement with the nunchuck gives you a double jump automatically. So when you jump, he does his little double jump. You wouldn't even realize he does a double jump because he does it every time you move the nunchuck. When you play with the Z button, it allows you to do a double jump. You jump once and then you jump twice. And the thing is, this jump is needed to play the game. This jump needs to be executed correctly to progress in the game. I discovered, I mean, that there was a part, I said I was going to play with the nunchuck control because that's what they tell you to play with. But I decided to play with the Z button, and the thing was I had to jump up high, and I had to get that double jump at the very end, and if you play with the nunchuck, it gives you the double jump immediately, and it does not work. You will not progress in the game except by maybe a freak accident, because it will occasionally not double jump initially. Then, I discovered that you can jump on enemies by, it was purely by accident. I was platforming and the controls are kind of wonky, so I fell off and I landed on an enemy and then, ooh, he's dead. Seriously, did DDI think we would go, ooh, Isaguma, let's jump on it? No! No. The enemies are much larger than you, and you would not think that you could jump on them immediately, especially with their large gaping mouths, which, by the way, are at your scepter's level. Your pointless weapon. Because with the scepter, you slice and it goes through the mouth, or you slice and it goes over the enemy's head, or the enemy's flying above you. However, with the jumping on enemies, just don't worry, you'll still struggle to land on the enemy's head. If that is any consolation on you, because you can't aim very well because you're so wonky and going so fast and the enemy's moving so fast, you'll probably die trying to kill the enemy, even being able to jump on set. The game it's unforgivable. Maybe this game would be okay if it was in place of Bubsy 3D and had been on the PS1. However, Super Mario 64 was the landmark of the start of true 3D platforming. That game existed at least 10 years before this. I mean, the camera in Super Mario 64 was bad. This one's 10 times worse. And apparently you can adjust the camera angle. I haven't tried it, but I found it when I was messing with the option menu. I don't know if it works or not, but the camera buttons are like up on the pad, on the control pad on the Wiimote. I kept trying to jump to change the camera angle because that's how you do it in Zelda. It's not intuitive. It's not intuitive in the least. Well, you know, I think to wrap things up, we're going to take a look at the credits. The most amusing part of this game is the credits. There is something seriously wrong with your game when the credits are the most entertaining part of your game. Totally worth the $2.50 I paid, which, by the way, I knew the game was crap when I bought it. It's kind of one of those things, it's like, it's so bad you can't stop watching and you have to try it for yourself. But with regards to the credits, first, they had the most people on the crew in the quality control section. Great job, guys. Brilliant job. You really... I mean, I hope they gave you a bonus. Hope they gave you a raise, because that quality control, I mean, a fantastic game. Number 2. For some reason, this just makes me giggle. This game was built on something called the Gods Engine. I normally don't pay attention to credits of the games and how games are built and such, but for some reason the name of that engine amuses me. Enough said. Oh, and they even thanked their mom and dad and other mom and dad. I guess their relatives probably didn't want their names associated with their game, so they just had to do that. This game is bad. Play it if you want a challenge. I actually made it through the first level. Not the training level, but the first level. I can't recommend playing this thing the whole way through. I mean, it gives you a good idea of what a bad video game is. It's better than I expected it to be based off of reviews. I'd probably give it maybe a 2.5 out of 10. Other sites have given it 1.5. But considering there are a couple workarounds for the really bad mechanics, like not being able to use your scepter or the jump mechanic, I can give it a little bit of a boost, not that much. I mean, it's a crappily made game. It was made for kids. They weren't expecting parents to research it. Shame on you, Data Design. Shame on you. Your games are terrible. Quit. I give it a 2.5 out of 10. That's kind of being generous, but there are workarounds for the crappy part, for the really, really crappy game-breaking stuff that they teach you. So, I think that's going to be it. I hope you've enjoyed this game review. If you like this review, please subscribe, comment, and like, and I'll see y'all later.